After finishing Resident Evil Requiem, I genuinely think this might be one of the strongest entries in the entire franchise. Not just because it's scary, not just because the gameplay is polished, but because it understands legacy. And to explain why Requiem works so well, we need to talk about three things: who Grace is, who Leon is, and what Elpus really represents. Fair warning, I'm going to be talking about the beginning of the game a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Alright, so what exactly is Elpus? Elpus is introduced as a cutting-edge biomedical research organization. On paper, they develop regenerative medicine, advanced viral treatments, and genetic therapy. It's clear Elpus is pushing far past into the original T-virus model created decades ago. This isn't a cult, this isn't a random infection. Elpus is modernized bioterror science. Clean branding, corporate legitimacy, and public trust. It's what corporations like Umbrella Corp would look like if they learned from their past mistakes. Not morally, strategically, and that's what makes them terrifying. Grace Ashcroft, the key to Elpus. Grace begins Requiem as an FBI analyst. She studies outbreak data, corporate behavior, and biohazard intelligence patterns. She works behind a desk, so she's analytical, brilliant, and detail-oriented, but she's not a combat agent. And when Elpus starts drawing federal attention, Grace becomes involved not just because of her expertise, but because Elpus has a direct interest in her. That's where the story shifts from procedural to personal. Requiem confirms through flashback that Grace is the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft, the survivor of the 1998 Racoon City outbreak from RE Outbreak. Alyssa survived Umbrella's original disaster as a civilian journalist. She witnessed corporate corruption, government cover-ups, and civilian devastation. Grace grew up in the shadow of that truth. She didn't just study bioterror, she inherited its consequences, and Elpus's connection to her suggests something even darker. Grace isn't just investigating history repeating itself, she's part of why it's happening. Without spoiling anything further, that narrative choice itself is genius, because Grace represents the next generation, not just emotionally tied to Racoon City, but biologically and thematically connected to its legacy. She isn't a random character that they just put in there, she's the evolution of the story. Alright, now we talk about Leon. Oh my god, get this shit off my screen. Yo, what the fuck is this shit? Alright, lock the fuck in. I guess the residents weren't evil enough today. Leon Scott Kennedy, the man who witnessed it all. Leon survived Racoon City in Resident Evil 2. He then became a government agent in Resident Evil 4 after saving Ashley, the president's daughter. He also dealt with global outbreaks in Resident Evil 6. By the time Requiem begins, Leon is brought in to investigate Elpus because he's one of the most experienced anti-bioterror operatives alive. And when he sees Elpus, he doesn't see innovation, he sees repetition. Corporate ambition, genetic experimentation, and moral compromise. Leon recognizes the pattern immediately because he's been fighting it for decades. He's not shocked, he's tired, he's old. He understands that even though Umbrella fell, its blueprint survived. That perspective adds weight to every scene he's in. Leon represents experience while Grace represents the consequence. Their intersection makes Requiem special because Grace analyzes bioterror from a systemic level, as Leon fought it physically. Grace is central to Elpus's ambitions while Leon is trying to dismantle them. Their stories aren't parallel, they're converging, and that convergence turns Requiem from just another outbreak story into something generational. Grace's sections lean into psychological horror, vulnerability, isolation, and limited combat, while Leon's sections contrast by tactical engagements, confidence, and controlled aggression. The mechanics reflect identity, and that's why switching between them feels intentional instead of random like a lot of RE games. The constant theme we see is the evolution of evil. Resident Evil used to be about a single corp, the Umbrella Corp, but RE9 is about systemic evolution. Umbrella started it as Elpus refined it. Leon has spent his life fighting the symptoms as Grace represents the long-term consequence. And that thematic layering is why RE9 feels mature, not nostalgic. It's evolved. A masterpiece respects its past while expanding its future. Requiem honors Leon's decades-long arc, canonizes Alyssa's survival into the mainline legacy, makes Grace central instead of disposable, and introduces Elpus as a believable evolution of bioterror. It doesn't retread history, it escalates it. Resident Evil Requiem proves the scariest thing isn't the monsters, it's the fact that humanity keeps rebuilding them. Leon has seen the cycle, and Grace is caught at its center, and Elpus proves the cycle isn't over. That's why Resident Evil Requiem isn't just good, it's a masterpiece. Alright, so this is basically the end of the video. I think I'm supposed to be working on my Dollar Tree video next, but I really like this game and I wanted to go over it and kind of show you guys why I like it so much. I mean, the best part about this YouTube shit, I guess, is that you're your own boss and I can just do whatever video I fucking want. I don't feel obligated to do whatever. I got other shit going on in my life right now, so I'm just more focused on that rather than making a fuck-ass Dollar Tree video. Jesus Christ. I mean, if you guys want to go check out the first part, it's going to be on the top right. You'll see a little card there, and also it's going to be in the description of the video. Alright, that's it. Bye-bye. I'm gonna put like a fucking little reel here. Leon dances really goofy in the background and I think it's funny.